that are set up so that we as Black people have a harder time succeeding economically, and it's embedded and bred into our culture. And so when we talk about fatherlessness, that's a byproduct of a number of different issues. But if we had the economic power that many of our counterparts enjoy in this country, some of the issues that we face, we wouldn't have those.
Officer Tatum, you want to weigh in on this topic?
Yeah, I think that a lot of our issue comes from right here in the mind. And I would say that leads from the lack of education. The reason we vote the way we do is from a lack of education. The reason that we think, and no disrespect to the young...
I disagree with him on that. Because I disagree with him on that, because you can educate somebody as much as you want to, but if they want to be a victim, they're gonna be a victim. Period. It's so many educated Black people who still have this victim mentality, like, oh, I can't get the opportunities I want because I'm Black. So education, it sounds good, or at least what exactly do you mean by education? Do you mean like going to college? Because I don't see it. I don't see like college being the fix-all solution for obviously he didn't mean it like that, but I just don't see college being that solution, or just education in general.
That I say that is because it's the same...
Wait, the fuck was that?
And no disrespect to the young lady, that we think that somehow our issues are external is a lack of education and knowledge. I honestly believe that we are the arbiters of our success. If we have problems in the inner city communities, we have to look in the mirror first.
Agreed.
We have to look in the mirror first.
Agreed.
Because on this panel, I highly doubt that anybody on this panel is affected by systemic issues and the systematic oppression.
That's not true.
I said I highly doubt that none of us are affected. I'm a successful Black man. I got an education. I own my own business. I employ Black people in my business, and I pay them very well. Why? Because they're qualified. They do what it takes. They come, they interview, and I give them opportunities, and that beget other opportunities. So I honestly think that the person in the mirror is the biggest, problem or success factor in the Black community.
The other day,
I don't know if it's mostly Black people in that crowd or not, but I was actually pleasantly surprised to see many Black people siding with him on this. It actually kind of opened my mind up, thinking, okay, maybe there are a lot more Black people out there who are sick of the victim mentality shit. And that's excellent. You know what I'm saying? That's excellent, because it's getting out of hand.
That I say that is because it's the same
What the
person in
fuck?
the mirror. The justice system.
So it's not me doing that on accident. I thought it was me doing it on accident. Okay.
The other day, I was reflecting on my grandmother, and I was raised by my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. Both of my parents were incarcerated on a federal level when I was approximately 5 years old. And I thought about something. My grandmother told me one day, she said, do you know that you are the first generation that was born free in this country?
Come on.
I said, what do you mean by that? She said, you were born in late 1970s. And I said, yeah. She said, well, when I was born one generation from a descendant of a slave. When your mother was born, she was born in Jim Crow. And so I was the first generation that was born fully free in this country. Why am I bringing that up? I'm glad that you asked that question. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because we are not too far removed from the institutional racism as it relates to signs, as it relates to legislation, et cetera, that keeps people like you, like me, like her, and like you, successful brother, in bondage.
I don't. The fuck does that have to do with anything? Oh, we're not that far removed. Okay, that means what? Legally, you have every opportunity that everybody else in this country has. So I don't understand. Oh, we're not that far removed. The fuck does that have to do with anything? Okay, so.
Can I jump in on this real quick?
Brandon, before you do.
And let me say this, even though you were the first generation, look at how much you've been able to accomplish. How much barriers do you have if you've been able to accomplish so much and you're only the first generation?
Well, let me tell you about my barriers. As a felon, as a person with a felony conviction.
Let me just.
I can tell you about my barriers. There are more than 46,000 collateral consequences to one felony conviction in the United States of America.
What did you do to go to jail?
I was involved in criminal enterprising.
There you go. So.
Does he not understand what he just? Let's keep going.
Oh, let me
But what
just
does
say,
it
let
have
me
to
just
do
say
with
this.
being
The
successful or
reason
not?
that I say that is because it's the same person in the mirror. The justice system, the white man, systemic racism, none of that had anything to do with the reason why you went to
Nah,
prison.
I didn't get
No,
get prosecuted by a
I'm just
white man. I got prosecuted by a black prosecutor. I got prosecuted by a black. I got
So what this got to do with systematic racism? You just said it yourself. Black prosecutor, black judge, all that. What got to do with systematic racism?
by black judge. This wasn't about white. This
But
wasn't about black.
hang
This
on
was
one
like
second. Hang on one
systemic
second.
racism.
The system in and of itself, I'm telling you, the reason why you went there and I didn't is because decisions that you made and I didn't make those decisions.
There you go.
And the reason why you're successful now are the positive decisions that you made learning from the experience. Those are decisions that you're making are the arbiters of your success. It has nothing to do with these external factors. You were able to get out of prison, have the experience, and now you're able to free other people. In America, you can do that. In other places, I can't attest to that. But America forced that opportunity. There's no systems that have stopped you, have it? I think that is damaging now by having diversity, inclusion, and all that stuff. What it does is it separates us.
What?
It does. It separates
How?
us. Because
You don't want people to know about our culture?
I am
You don't want people to know about our culture? What do you mean? There's plenty of cultures you don't know about. If you learning about somebody's culture should be elective. Oh my God. Hold up, pause. Oh my God, the freaking bot works. I'm an idiot. I am a certified idiot. Wow. Wow, the bot actually works. Reed says not that far from removed from World War II, but we don't still blame all Germans for World War II. Why is it that other people can have that type of common sense, but we can't? Why? I can't believe this bot actually works. Let's continue. But going back, learning about somebody else's culture should be elective. It should be elective. It shouldn't be forced in nobody's face. You can't make this shit up. Word to the Godfather, you can't make this shit up. Let's keep going.
I am an entrepreneur. I hire people for
This is a Dusty Olympics exclusive.
a living. I do not discriminate against individuals who come to my workforce. If I have qualified black people, I'm going to hire qualified black people. What we should be focusing on is having them qualified instead of just giving them a handout because we need to reach numbers. We need young, this is the problem that's happening. I'm gonna shut up, I promise. The problem that's happening is that we're not focused on making sure these young people are successful coming out of school. They're prepared to go to work. They're prepared to interview. We're not prepping them there. We wanna go on the back end and say, well, I have 10 white people, I need 3 more black people, I'm just gonna hire them because we need to meet a quota. That's not the way to do it because they come, they're unprepared, and they're not gonna be successful. What we need to do is help them on the back end, make sure they're successful and prepared, send them out in the workforce where they are competitive, and therefore they can compete just like everybody else.
That is so important because the thing is, when you start hiring people or giving people opportunities, not based on on meritocracy, but based on what group they fit in and what their identity is, people start becoming resentful. Also, those people end up being very incompetent at their jobs, bro. And then you start creating this negative stereotype about certain people. One of the things that I take very seriously is showing up to wherever I need to be on time. I even to my own detriment, like even on dates where I should probably show up late, I show up on time. I can't help it. It's in my DNA. I can't help it. Why? Because one of the negative stereotypes about black people is black people time. We always late. I hate that shit. That shit pisses me off. I hate it because it's true, though. I hate it because it's fucking true. The hell is this? It's terrible. So I make sure that every day, I make sure that I'm on time. So when people say, okay, when people work with me, whether it's, I'm at a job or, a business meeting, they're going to say, okay, he's black, but he's on time. Because I try to represent my people in the best possible way. In the best possible way. And when you're hiring people not based on merit, but based on identity, I'm going to hire a bunch of black people. Okay. Your store opened up at 9 a.m. And then nobody show up till 9:15. Customers sitting at the door like, Alex versus Evil is in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. How's it going? Reed says, in America, you should want to understand others' cultures. Absolutely, you should want to understand others' cultures because we live in a melting pot of cultures. So, like, imagine walking around living in this box where you don't care about no other cultures, and so everything you know about other cultures comes from a place of ignorance. It's stupid. It's stupid. He also says we celebrate other countries every year and do American holidays in the way a person of whatever country we are celebrating would do it. So when we did France, we had Thanksgiving with French foods, right? And we celebrate Easter like they do in France. This year we are doing Israel, so we are trying to learn to be American, like we are now from like we're new from Israel. As Israel. I'm sorry. Alex says he's just playing Final Fantasy 16. So let's continue.
I was raised by a single parent, and I feel that I'm considered one of the people that is successful when we talk about, what success looks like within the Black community. But even still, even being raised, in a single family, being educated, having a successful job, a successful career, I still understand that there are systematic things in this country that are against me. And I don't care how people...
What are they? You can't just say certain stuff and then like, okay, let me let her keep going.
That I look in the banking. I talked about that earlier. The ability to
For you.
For me, I'm saying banking, yes, specifically. So just to give you a real life example, in 2020 during the pandemic, I went to my bank. I have good credit. I've paid back my student loans. I don't have any outstanding debt to income ratio, and I could not get $60,000. And I asked my bank, why was I denied a person who has A1 credit, don't have any student loans, I have, 2 or 3 properties. Why am I being denied a $60,000 personal loan? And you know what?
You say because you're Black?
They didn't give me an answer.
Well, how do you know it's because you're Black?
Well, first of all, how you gonna assume you wasn't given an answer? You wasn't given an answer, so you just gonna assume it's because I'm Black? They didn't give me an answer. But second of all, this is why I say, and this is going to sound very misogynistic, so hold on. If we got any women watching, this is going to sound very misogynistic, but I think it's just the truth. This is why having women in these kind of conversations can be detrimental to growth. Why? Because women absolutely positively lie to win arguments. It is illegal to deny somebody a loan without telling them why, ladies and gentlemen. It is illegal. You have to give them a reason why. She said she was given no reason. Come on now. She's making up imaginary situations to try to gain leverage in arguments. And this is why I say all the time, you got to be careful when you're trying to have conversations about growth. And this is not just on Black women or anything like that. It's on women in general, because I've seen this on plenty of podcasts. Fresh and Fit, the Whatever podcast, the Lapeef Network, whatever podcast you can think of that includes women, where they try to talk about growth and how to make things better in our society, how to make relationships better, how to get marriages back on point, how to improve the Black community. You get this shit lying for no reason. Oh, they didn't tell me why. You're a liar. And if that's the truth, then you should have took them to court and said, hey, they denied me and didn't give me a reason. You don't even have to claim racism. How you approve that? I don't know. But I mean, you got enough resources. You say you own 3 properties. You got good credit. You can afford a lawyer. Take them to court. They denied me and didn't give me a reason. That's illegal. So let's continue.
What I'm saying
Hold
is...
on. Before we continue, let's get into this comment. I'm going to call her BS that if she had awesome credit and good debt to credit ratio and had property for collateral, then that means her credit is at its max. Right. She's lying, bro. This is why I say you have to be extremely careful when you're including women in conversations like this, because women have no problem lying to prove a point. If you ever seen the Fresh and Fit podcast, they've showed you this thousands of times. Women will lie to win a argument. They will make some shit up that never happened. They will bend the story. They will withdraw details. So let's continue.
There are no, wait a minute. There are
How
no
do you know it's because of the
indicators.
color of your skin?
What I'm saying is there are no indicators for why I should have been denied. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know that any white people have been denied with the same qualifications?
I don't know because I didn't go out and poll white people.
there's
This
no way-
isn't a conversation about white people. This is a conversation about me.
No, but there's no way.
This isn't a conversation about white people. This is a conversation. But you brought up racism, so it is a conversation about white people. You said that you were denied a $60,000 loan based on your race. That's what you said. So the implication there is because you were black, which the polar opposite of being black is being white, is that if a white person with the same qualifications walked in that bank and applied for a $60,000 loan with the same credit, same qualifications, they would have got approved. This is not about you. But see, this once again, this is why I say it's really hard to have conversations like this with women at the table because they only think about themselves and what they want. And they will lie to win arguments. I'm not saying that to be misogynistic. I'm not saying that women shouldn't be at the table. I'm just saying you have to be really freaking careful, dude. And if you're not, because if I would have been in this conversation, my first reaction would have been, so you mean to tell me a bank denied you for a loan, didn't explain to you why, and you didn't take them to court? Because that's illegal. And I would have wanted to see how she was going to beatbox after that. And what I mean by beatboxing is how she, let's continue.
Acknowledging a hindrance. You're acknowledging a hindrance.
I'm acknowledging a hindrance in what you're considering to be a successful person doing what they're supposed to do, going out and working, having good credit, paying their bills on time, and still being denied with no reason given.
As a black
That's
person,
what I'm, as a
you're
black
saying
person,
that happened to you
I'm saying
because
that
you were
happened
black.
to me. What I'm saying is,
It
yes,
happened.
I'm saying it happened.
Okay.
And I happen to be black, yes.
Kalea, I want to talk about
But wait
immigration.
a minute, I'd like Brandon to respond to that. I see you set back, you're frustrated.
Listen,
I'd like you to respond.
I will.
Yeah.
You got
Listen,
2 minutes.
2 minutes. All I want to say is that I can fight with you if we have evidence. If you went to the bank and you have evidence that they've been giving loans to people with equal qualification as you have, and because you being black, they denied you, let's go to the bank and let's show up. Let's pull up. Okay. But the thing is that
Absolutely. And that's another thing. Women have a knack for making accusations they can't substantiate, but their expectation is that, especially in the black community, that because I'm black, you should just believe it, and if you don't, you are a coon. That's what they believe. I can't believe this bot is I can't believe this bot is actually working, and it's been working this entire time. I just had it set up wrong. Let's continue. Oh, by the way, Reed says my credit score is 787. We are trying to build up to buy a home, and it's hard as hell. Hey, you got it, bro. You got it. Your credit is damn so better than mine. So just a little fact about me. When I jumped off the porch, my credit was shot when I jumped off the porch. I give you just a little quick. I remember being 19 years old, right? I've been 19 years old, and Comcast called me and was like, "Hey, how's it going, Mr. Dukes?" I was like, I don't know if I applied for a job with them or what, but they was like, "How's it going, Mr. Dukes?" And I'm like, that's my last name, by the way. And I'm like, yeah, how's it going? So yeah, we're glad you're having a nice day. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of this little $900 account that you got with us. I said, excuse me? Motherfucker, I'm 19 years old. I work at Five Below making $7.25 an hour, and I'm on call. How would I ever been able to afford a Comcast bill? That's what they said. Well, it was like, well, is there anybody in your family that would have used your name? I'm like, you know it, because that's what y'all do. You know, back in the day with cable companies, what they used to do just to get the customer, the salesperson, if they couldn't approve you to get the service, they would ask you, they would literally ask you, where is there anybody else whose name you could put the service in? I really feel like I should be able to take Comcast to court for that, but whatever. But let's continue.
Fair to make that determination without unequivocal facts, because what it does is it generates this idea that it's because you're black. There may be something or that you could have changed on when you made the application or not that could have caused you to get the loan. There are some educational points there that could have been effective, but you can't just say it's your race, because then you're telling the next young person and the next young black person, and before you know it, they don't even give it a try when you're saying something that's not verified.
No, I'm not saying. I'm gonna let you get your applause. What I'm saying.
She's salty as shit. I'm gonna let you get your applause. She's salty as shit. Because everybody buys into what he's saying. And I want to give credit to the people in the crowd. I don't know if it's primarily black people or not. I think it is, because I don't see why, I don't see why it would be primarily white people showing up to like an all black panel of them talking about black issues. I could be wrong, but I don't see that. So I want to give credit to them for being able to think for themselves and be able to, not fall for the victimhood mentality BS. Let's continue.
That I say that is because it's the same person in the mirror. The justice system, the white man, systemic racism, none of that had anything to do with the reason why you went to prison.
Nah, I didn't get prosecuted by a white man. I got prosecuted by a black prosecutor. I got prosecuted by a black.
What the fuck? Why does it keep?
This country that are expertise. Why am I being denied a conversation? And I happen to be black. Yes.
What it does is it generates this idea that it's because you're black. There may be something or that you could have changed on when you made the application or not that could have caused you to get the loan. There are some educational points there that could have been effective, but you can't just say it's your race, because then you're telling the next young person and the next young black person, and before you know it, they don't even give it a try when you're saying something that's not verified.
No, I'm not saying. I'm gonna let you get your applause. What I'm saying is the same
He's
grace that
salty
you're
as hell.
asking me to give the bank and saying that maybe it didn't happen because I'm black, I'm asking for that same grace to say that that absolutely could have been a qualifier in their decision to deny me, but they didn't give me that information. And so the same way that I'm making an example that we don't know. So
It could have
just
been
as you're
because you were female.
We
It could
like
have been because of
Brandon,
anything.
you don't
It
know.
could have
I
been-
don't know
it
because
could have
you
been-
know what? They didn't give me the
They
information.
could have been jealous of you. They see you
It
come
could
in
have
looking
been
nice. They hating on you.
Now,
It could
here's
have
the
been hating.
thing.
It could have been because you're a
Gates
woman.
do
It could have
not
been.
like-
So here's the thing. To be fair, there is discrimination, but there's this discrimination on all fronts. I'm gonna give you a little backstory. My apartment that I live in right now by myself is in my mother's name. You wanna know why it's in my mother's name? Because when I went apartment searching, when I went apartment hunting, it was at the end of 2020 during the pandemic. I walked in this apartment complex to the front office, to the rental office. And I didn't even get through the door. I said, "Hey, y'all got any units available?" They told me no. They said, "No, we ain't got nothing available." Young lady came to the front door. She opened up the door. I didn't even get a chance to walk in. I didn't even get a chance to say my name. I didn't do no application. Nothing. They said they didn't have nothing available. I thought nothing of it. I talked to my mom on the phone that same day. She was like, "Hey, did you try out them apartments on such and such?" I was like, "Yeah, that was one of the first places I went to." They told me they didn't have nothing available. She said, "Okay." She applied and got approved 2 days later. Now, I know you're thinking, see, them white folks at it again. No, nigga. This is a black company. These are all black people in that office. Now, you might be able to say, well, maybe the owners are white. I don't know. But they make the decisions. The people in the office make the decisions on who get at least an opportunity or not. Now your qualifications might be, but they never got an opportunity to look at my quality. They didn't know how much money I was making. They looked me dead in the face and said, "Oh nah, this nigga ain't finna pay no rent." Black girl, 2 black men is the managers, all that. And then when I brought it up because I didn't have time to really argue about it, I was like, cool. I just took the apartment. It's in my mom's name. I try to keep her included and all of that. But later on, when I mentioned it to the manager, you know what he said to me? I was like, "Yeah, when I first came here, y'all told me y'all ain't had nothing available. I had to get the apartment in my mom's name." You know what he looked at me and said? "That sound about right." So they know they discriminate against their own people. So it ain't just like, stop pretending like it's a black and white thing. They looked at me, they saw a young single black male and was like, "Hell nah." And look, I've been here almost 3 years now, paying rent. Now they going up on this rent, so a young nigga finna tip up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's continue.
I
'Cause
pink.
who
I
knows?
But what
have
I'm
the
also
facts
just
on that.
asking you to consider is that it also could have been my race. That's
I-
all I'm
I
asking you
do.
to consider.
I know
I'm
I do.
asking you to consider
I
that as
think
well.
I think that's fair to consider that, and I will. But we cannot make the determination, right? But we'll consider it. You know, in this country, if black people, if we're caring about what our efforts are and our effectiveness in this country is, if we get overtaken by people who shouldn't even be in this country, that didn't fight to belong in this country, didn't die, didn't shed blood, wasn't in the Civil War, wasn't a slave in this country. The law wasn't even prepared for people to come here illegally. It was prepared for black people who belong here. If we get overtaken by them, then what are we going to do? We're having abortions at a crazy rate. Therefore, we're not populating. We're at 12%. We're probably at
300,000 black children a year. For those that don't know, if you don't know, look it up. On average, 300,000 black babies a year are being aborted. Meanwhile, you all for letting like illegal immigration into the country and all of this, taking opportunities away from you. And every time a white person says, nah, we need to build a wall or some stuff like that, first thing come out your mouth is white supremacists. But these same people coming in, and it's nothing against them. It's just, we already here. We already shedded the blood, tears, and all of that nonsense, the blood, sweat, and tears. Why the hell we got to take a back seat to some illegal immigrants? Then they come here working for cheaper than you, outworking you. But you pro-immigration. Let's keep going.
at 11% of the population. If there are 60% of the population, when we show up to vote, what kind of power you think we're going to have?
None.
And they came here illegally. Their ancestors were not here. They didn't go through the struggle. They didn't go through Jim Crow. You got to get in line and do it the right way. And you're not going to thwart opportunities for black people in this country. And if anybody cares about opportunities for black people, and they're saying they're not afforded these opportunities, they're getting taken away from them, this is one of the points that we should all be in unison on, is saying that these illegal people who come in this country that take opportunities from Americans is wrong.
Lois?
Well, the way that I feel about this country is we're all illegals in this country.
No, we're not.
Oh, get
Yes,
the
we
fuck
are.
out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You can't make this shit up. We're all illegals in this. Man, get out of here. Let me tell y'all something. If shit hit the fan right now, if this thing turned into The Walking Dead right now, if you think we all as black people finna be sitting around here holding hands singing Kumbaya, you crazy out your head. It's gonna be survival of the fittest, and I plan on being one of the fittest. And that means we taking, you know what I'm saying? We doing what don't, never mind. I ain't trying to get canceled today. Let me continue the video.
First of all, I knew it'd be controversial. I knew it was gonna be controversial to say that. I do believe that black people built this country for free. I do believe that.
Yo.
But I also believe that we're all on stolen land. This is not our country. It's not. And so, because
whose country?
Native Americans.
Who? Which one? Which tribe?
I don't know which tribe.
The one who killed them to get them to kill the other ones to kill the other ones.
Listen.
Exactly. This idea that it's, oh, you took it from, who you think they took it from? If I pull up, if it's survival of the fittest out here, I'm a big Marvel's Apocalypse fan. I believe in the survival of the fittest. If it's survival of the fittest out here, I come up on some land, my people starving. My people want to eat. We ain't got no food, but we got military. I run up on your people. Y'all got all type of vegetation. Y'all got cows. Y'all got animals. Y'all got all the good stuff. I try to trade with you. I say, hey, listen, we can give y'all some military weapons. You know what I'm saying? We just need a little bit of food. And they look us dead in the face and say, hey, we appreciate the offer, but we good. We peaceful people. We don't go to war. You think I'm finna go back to my queen and my children and be like, man, they ain't trying to trade? No! I'm like, hey, put your armor on, get ready. My children starving. We finna go eat. And they listen, they got one choice. These are choices. Surrender and come underneath us, or perish. We'll spare your children. We'll spare your women. All the men gone. Y'all might as well cut it out. Cause we finna eat. We finna eat. This idea that everybody holding hands and singing along and everybody's getting along no. Let this shit hit the fan the wrong way. I promise you. Whoever got the biggest guns and the biggest resources, we up through there. Let's finish this video because I gotta take a leak.
It's listen, let me say this. Do I believe that America has an immigration problem? Absolutely. I'll be the first person to say that. I don't believe any president, Democrat, Republican, has gotten it right. I think it's really a real challenge in this country.
Do you believe,
That
Crystal, that
said,
our immigration problem is disenfranchising blacks?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think
Wow.
it is. I reject
Wow.
the premise that quote unquote illegal immigrants are taking jobs away from black people. I reject that premise.
Okay, we got to go to solutions.
Wow.
How do we do that?
And you can hear the crowd.
Listen on the page.
You can hear the crowd. They like, wow. Wow. Let's keep going.
Stop blaming other people and let's come together. Let me finish.
The past is a precursor.
Let's start making sure that we hit these pillars as a community. Let's start marrying these young women and staying at home and taking care of your responsibilities as a man. Let's start building wealth together. Instead of going and banking with Chase Bank, somebody go bank with a black bank. For all these people who
Give
have
me the
all
black
this
bank
money
to bank
together,
with.
let's how we
All
can't
she wanna
come
do is
together
argue,
and
bro.
start pursuing black excellence. Instead of supporting illegal immigration, let's support our people right here in New York. Instead of putting these people up in a
They
hotel,
in New York too.
paying for them to eat, giving them access, giving them free medical insurance. Let's do that for the black people who are struggling right here in New York.
Facts. Facts. Let me tell y'all something. By the way, this is a Dusty Olympics exclusive. Okay, this is going up on the Dusty Olympics. Shout out to everybody watching on Rumble. Shout out to everybody watching on Kick. Damn, we got a lot of people watching on Rumble right now. I appreciate y'all. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the reason why you can't comment is because you haven't verified your account if you're trying to comment. But if you're just watching, if you just like watching, that's cool too. That's cool too. Shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the follow button on Kick. I'm about to say something very controversial, but I want you to know it's coming from a good place. And I'm talking to black people. Talking to my black people. Well, I'm really talking to our black men. If we're going to continue to have conversations about improving our community and getting back on an upwards trajectory, there's a certain possibility that niggas going to have to start considering. Okay? You need to start considering. I'm not saying whether it is or it isn't. All I'm saying is you need to start considering the possibility that you and the women in your community don't play for the same team. I'm sorry. I know that sounds very controversial. It sounds like you trying to separate, like I'm trying to create division or something like that. I promise you I'm not. All I'm saying is you need to consider the very strong possibility that you and the women in your community do not play for the same team. And by that, I mean they just believe in certain, like they only believe in the things they believe in and they don't really care to entertain anything you're talking about. You saw the young woman on this panel. She was completely uninterested in any of the factual things he was saying. All she cared about was arguing her point and making everybody feel what she felt. And if you really want to know, I know a lot of y'all think, I asked them on 3 different issues. Are you pro-choice? Oh yeah, I'm pro-choice. Well, bro, you think she's on the same? Okay, are you pro-choice? And most dudes be like, yeah, I think a woman should be able to do whatever she want to do with her own body. Okay, cool. So you okay with 300,000 black babies per year going down the drain? Literally, quite literally going down the drain. 300,000 a year? That's crazy. Nah, you can't pick and choose when you want to be pro-choice. If you pro-choice, you got to be pro-choice regardless. So you cool with 300,000 black babies a year being killed? Meanwhile, well, we're going to get into the immigration part. Okay, so it's obviously you're uncomfortable with that because I think most men, especially black men, would be uncomfortable knowing that 300,000 a year. I don't know if it's the CDC or somebody estimated that the black population would be 90 million if not for Planned Parenthood. Close to 90 million. That's a lot. I'd also ask them, okay, so what do you think about immigration? You ask a lot of black women. Oh yeah, I'm for immigration. This isn't our land. It's not our land to keep people out. Okay. You ask the black men, what do you feel about immigration? Yeah, I agree. You know what I'm saying? It's not our land. Wow. So you're okay with the fact that we're not producing enough children? We're not producing enough children and that our population is decreasing with how many we got going to jail, with how many, and then like supporting the LGBTQ community and our boys not, creating babies because, whatever. You cool with that? You cool with them coming in and taking jobs away from you and your future children? You cool with that? Oh, well, I don't know. So I guess you're not pro-immigration. And then the final topic is, we got 80% of us are raised in single parent homes. They don't think that's a problem though. We already know that children raised in single parent homes are at a severe disadvantage over children who are raised in two parent homes. You okay with that? No, I think both parents should be in the family. Well, they don't. Because a lot of them are single mothers who could have stayed with the man they made a child with, but instead chose not to, or could have just not made a child at all. So evidently, you don't play for the same team. You don't believe in the same stuff. That's all I'm saying. You need to consider the possibility that and so once you do that, you'll stop voting the same way. You'll start doing what's in the best interest for the community and leading so that the women can follow. Because once they start seeing the results, instead of you following them, because there's women, white, black, Hispanic, whatever, who will tell you stupid as hell if you listen to women. They know it. Man, if you listen to us, you stupid. So once you get in there and you start leading, then they'll follow. Then they'll be on your team. But the first step to fixing the black community is to stop fucking following the goddamn women and be the fucking leader you're supposed to be. And that's what I'll say on this Dusty Olympics exclusive. I gotta go and use the restroom. So I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta use the restroom.
Like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby. Slide to the crib, look like Dracula's mansion, my baby. When you pull up, it's on action, my baby.